Are you looking to really accelerate your personal growth? If so, go to my website and download the free Abundance Benchmark. It's going to give you some amazing feedback on where you're stuck in life. Again, it's totally free, and you can grab yours right now at MatthewBivens.com. Welcome to Having It All. My name is Matthew Bivens, and each week I bring you conversations and insights that explore the question, what does having it all mean to you? My goal is to leave you with stories you can relate to and messages you can take action on so that you can create an abundant, loving life. I am so excited that you're here to hang out with me today. Now, let's jump right into this episode. Today's episode is going to be pretty cool. It's actually the first time that we are doing this. We're going to be going over an epic challenge live right here on the podcast. And today I have with me a great friend, somebody who has just been an incredible presence in my life and in Sarah's life over the past year or so that we've known him. I just want to welcome Larry Nichols to the show. Larry, how are you being today?
I am powerful today. Thank you, Matthew. It's just awesome to be with you today on Having It All.
Very cool, man. Very cool. Well, I don't remember exactly how long ago we met, but I definitely know that since knowing you, life has been a little bit brighter. You have this amazing energy about you and just passion and love for life. And we share a lot of common interests despite being, very different generations. We have different backgrounds and have a lot of different experiences, but we have a lot of things in common. So we talked before I hit record. We talked about sort of the format of this show. And before we actually dive into your epic challenge and go through all that, can you just take 30 seconds and tell me and the folks listening a little bit about yourself, just to help us get to know you more?
So I came to Your Day Balance game back in December and met Matthew and Sarah, and what a powerful opportunity to spend time with them. I come back from a background of computer IT business. I was in sales for about 30 years, calling on Fortune 500 companies, calling from CEO levels down to developers, programmers, coders, and IT directors for nearly 30 years. And along the line, I had a number of businesses, some very successful, some there were opportunities for philanthropy, but a lot of great experiences throughout the time. I moved to Georgia in the 70s and finished college at Georgia State in the 80s. After about 7 years off from college, went back and completed, and have just had an awesome.
Hey, Larry?
Yes.
Sorry, sounds like I lost you there. What were you saying? You said Georgia State, you moved back, and then?
Yeah, so I went back to Georgia State after taking 7 years off from school to finish back in the 80s. And it was more of self-accomplishment and self-care to finish my college degree plan. And Georgia's been an awesome experience for me. I'm now 61 years old, and I see so much opportunity for growth, continuous growth, Matthew. And that's the things that I'm playing for in my life today, is to develop myself, spiritually and mentally, emotionally, even socially, for the people that I'm going to spend my time with, and physically as well, in developing in all these areas. And it's just awesome to have friends like you and Sarah that can empower and inspire me to continue to grow and show me a roadmap that we can mentor and encourage one another in life as we choose to and inspire to live life with one another.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And definitely has been a pleasure getting to know you more. And you've been a huge support to Sarah and I as we prepare to welcome baby Maya into the world. And so I've just known you as an amazing father, an amazing friend, entrepreneur, a leader, and just a creator. And so we also, another thing we share in common is that we're both part of the weekly accountability group called a Circle of Influence, or a COI. And that's where I was introduced to this concept of the Epic Challenge. And so that's, it's been an amazing experience for me. I know it's been a powerful experience for you. And what's really amazing about Epic Challenges is that it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what, status you have, or what you've accomplished in life, or how big your bank account is, or how small your house is. Any of that stuff doesn't matter. We all experience epic challenges in our life. And so the first thing I want to do is to just define what an epic challenge is to the new listener, because I've talked about them a few times on the show in past episodes, but since this series is all about diving into them, I want to make sure we're all crystal clear. And so an epic challenge is simply an area in your life where you are stuck. You are stuck in your understanding. You're stuck in what you are creating, and you would like to experience something different. And it's a place in life where you feel some sort of power loss, and you are continuing to have breakdowns. You're continuing to hit your head against the wall, and you want to shift that. Epic challenges can come in many different forms, can look like many different things. They can appear with your family, with your finances, with sex, with religion, with whatever it is. An epic challenge can be in any of those areas. And so, Larry, you and I, each week, we, in our accountability group, we talk about epic challenges. And so now that the listeners have some context, let's dive into yours, because when I reached out to the leader of your COI, he nominated you. He said, I think Larry has a pretty powerful epic challenge that a lot of people can relate to. And so, Larry, will you first start by, as succinctly as possible, in 30 seconds or less, just sum up your current epic challenge for us?
So just a quick background. I retired in 2011 from a successful business opportunity, and created this job in 2014, or this business of my own. And I have many other passions as far as vision giving, a nonprofit charity, and many other things that I have an opportunity to be a part of. But my epic challenge was, I going to continue with my current business, or focus on other passions that I had, Matthew.
Okay, so if I'm understanding it correctly, you have many things that you're interested in. You have many things you're passionate about, and you have this business. That's the way that you make your living and make your money. And so your challenge right now is whether or not to continue putting your time and energy into your business, or to scale that back a little bit and put that time and energy into some other things that you're passionate about, such as your nonprofit.
Correct.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Okay, so why is that epic for you? Why isn't that just something that you can solve, sitting on a couch with a cup of tea and figure it out? Why would you consider it an epic challenge?
Well, partly because of past successes and some of the blessings. It's not an absolute requirement that I generate a certain amount of income with my business. However, there's a lot of things that afford it. One of the things that inspired me, Matthew, about your podcast is having it all. And when I heard that, it excited me, because that is a phrase that I use quite frequently for a lot of years in my life. And it's talking about having it all, spiritually, or with a spouse, and your relationship to life, business, or finances, whatnot. Having it all, how you experience life, and what all that means to different people. And as I looked at my epic challenge, it's when it started coming back into focus, when I thought about having it all. And I choose to live my life modeling for other people so that they can be empowered and inspired to understand that they can have all that life has to offer, that they can be the greatest potential than God created them to be. And having it all, and me looking at this, what did that really mean to me today? And that was where the Epic Challenge came from.
So it doesn't sound like your business allows you to fulfill that passion.
Well, a certain portion of it does fulfill passion because the business is around health and wellness. And it's also an opportunity that I can help others create financial freedom for themselves through the business that I have, to introduce them and help them create a business of their own, that I can model them how to do it and give them training and certification and show them that if you're intentional about the things you do in business, you can create financial freedom. So there was a lot of things about that spoke to me about having it all. However, there were other things that have come along, or as you're very familiar with, your day balance game and some opportunities for leadership there and involvement there. And then my passion with the Vision Giving non-for-profit charity. And then my spiritual walk of sharing that with people and believing that I have a message to share with people. So there's a number of things that I have an extreme passion about, but probably the biggest passion I have is empowering others to the effect that they want to go out and empower others to live to be their greatest life. And so I wanted to make sure that my business aligned with that vision and dream for myself.
And that's how I've experienced you. I mean, that's how, since knowing you from December, just always looking to empower people and give them the tools to then go out and do what lights them up. And so where's the attachment for you with the business? Because knowing you and knowing that you've been putting a lot of your energy into the nonprofit, and hearing some of these other roles that are popping up into your life that are potentially fulfilling, or have the potential to become fulfilling, what is the attachment for you with this business?
Well, part of the attachment is that I strive for excellence in all the things that I do. And I'd gotten to the point where I wasn't putting the level of excellence into the business. So then I wondered whether I should lay that down and focus on the things that at that point in time had the passions to drive me for continuous excellence.
Gotcha.
So
that makes sense.
I wanted to make sure that focus was there for excellence.
No, I get that. Like, you're working at something and you stop feeling the fire that you used to about it, and then you're wondering, okay, what's the reason? Because you and I are very intentional, and we look for the meaning behind a lot of things. So if something is waning, and if passion is waning, then there might be a reason behind it. So it sounds like you started to investigate for yourself why that might be.
Yes, absolutely. Right on point.
So what areas of your life outside of the obvious were impacted through your Epic Challenge? Did this have an impact on, your attitude towards different things or different people? Did it impact your relationships? Did it impact your health?
I didn't necessarily draw a correlation to my health. However, I understand that my health and fitness tells the truth about my relationship to life. And I know that some of my attitudes towards some of the people in the business that I drew from, and my energy was lower when I was focusing on the business versus a higher energy that it had been. So I know that it was affecting my energy throughout the day. And I noticed there was days that I didn't want to spend time doing things that moved my business forward.
Hmm.
And that gave me a sign that I really needed to look deeper into it and make a decision whether, okay, I'm going to strive for excellence and be empowering for the people that I've brought into the business and worked the business with, or release that and move on from it. So excellence and empowering again arise to the top of what is important, and therefore my epic challenge.
No, I get that. Sounds like you were in some sort of limbo state. You were sort of in between these two places of going all in on the business or letting it go, and being in that limbo state. You were feeling how it was impacting, your energy levels and how it would just sort of sit with you throughout the day. And so you were like, I gotta freaking make a decision.
Yes, absolutely. Because I couldn't continue partially doing something, because that didn't line up with having it all and empowering and modeling a life for others to want to imitate and to strive for their greatness, to see someone else that is achieving their greatness and moving towards it on a daily basis.
That's huge.
And realizing there's always that opportunity for growth. And I wasn't growing in that area of my life.
Wow, that sounds epic in the sense that, like in the sense that you want to be this model of what you're teaching and trying to inspire others to be and to do, to really go for it, to pursue their passion, to believe in themselves, to align with their higher power and just get into their flow and their awesomeness. And you weren't feeling that when it comes to your business. And so in one area of your life, you are teaching that, or you are supporting that, or you're trying to inspire people to do that. But in another area of your life, you aren't doing it yourself.
Correct. And that didn't align with who I was being and playing to be and becoming.
Yeah. No, that sounds epic to me. And I can relate to that. And I think the folks listening can relate to that. It's like if a family member comes to you and they ask for advice and you give them some amazing advice, but then you're like, I don't even do this stuff myself. That can create this feeling of just being inauthentic. And I'm not saying you were feeling inauthentic, but I think that experience is very relatable. Your experience is very relatable. Okay, cool. Well, what I want to do now is take a quick break. And then when we come back, let's go into what happened when you shared this with your COI, some of the feedback you received, and maybe some of the insights that you gained. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. You've just been listening to someone boldly and honestly share their current epic challenge. But I know right now there is an area in your life in which you are stuck and would like to experience a breakthrough. If that sounds like you, then I'm inviting you to join me on the podcast so that we can explore your epic challenge together. Having been on both sides of epic challenges for almost 3 years now, I know that it takes courage, transparency, and accountability to create a breakthrough. I'm willing to hold a space for you to create a new result if you're willing to step into it. So to nominate yourself to join me on the podcast, just hop over to my website, MatthewBivens.com, click on the tab that says Epic Challenge, and drop me your information. When you experience a breakthrough, we all win. So if you're finally ready to create a new result in your life, then submit your epic challenge today. All right, Larry, we are back. And I appreciate you sharing your epic challenge and really just helping me to understand it more fully and help the listener understand it more fully. And just to recap it real quick, the way that I understand your epic challenge is that you're challenged between continuing to put your time and energy and resources into your business, despite the fact that that business doesn't 100% align up with your passions or doesn't fire you up the way that other things in your life do, such as the nonprofit and other things that you're doing. So you're sort of torn between these two places. And on top of that, part of what you're passionate about is inspiring other people to live up to their greatness and to be bold and to really step into it. And you don't feel like you're doing that completely with your business. So that's creating this this tension inside of you that is your epic challenge. Did I get it?
Yes,
Awesome.
absolutely. And I don't live to be second to myself. I live
Hmm.
for excellence in the trajectory of excellence and living for greatness, and inspiring other people to do the same. So
Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely, it became an epic challenge uh, for me because I wasn't modeling everything that I was playing to be, because of starting to pull back, because of lack of passion,
Hmm.
and and having passion in other places. Maybe versus lack of passion, I had so much passion for other things I needed to reevaluate, um, where to put energies and time and finances, um, and to be modeling what I stand for and
Hmm.
who I'm being.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now, did you bring your epic challenge to your circle of influence group, your weekly accountability group?
Absolutely. You know, when it was my opportunity to present an epic challenge, at first it was like, so what is my epic challenge? Life is pretty awesome for me. You know, things are going great. My health just continues to improve. Finances are doing well. Relationships, friends, mental, emotional, just things are just flowing for me. And then I realized, wait a second, you've been struggling about what to do with the business, and you're doing calls with other partners and encouraging them to do things that you're not actively doing at a level of excellence. You're kind of doing them. And so it became obvious to me, what do I do? Do I go all in, or do I pull back and put my efforts and passions to some of the other things that I have that move me? And so it was a really awesome experience because I've seen how it worked with other people's epic challenge within our circle of influence.
And you're talking about
Just,
receiving that feedback. That's the awesome experience.
yes, receiving that feedback is just so awesome, as being a part of other people's epic challenge, how the group, the team rallied with such powerful uh, feedback and love and compassion, uh, to help unfold to what the real epic challenges are and where you're stuck. So it was an awesome experience and very empowering experience to share that and hear the different things that people would say about it. And it was very encouraging, um, about that, because they also talked about who I am and who I'm being, and it encouraged me, and opened the door for me to really get focused and make a decision on what to do about it.
Well, let's
So
get into some of
it's
those
all
specifics. I want
of
to,
the feedback.
yeah. I want like share with me and the listener. That's really what, your breakthrough can be another person's breakthrough. So share some of the specific things that you remember, the specific pieces of feedback you received to that your group gave to you to help you move through the epic challenge.
Well, I think the group as a whole, understand, after we've spent 6 months together, for a number of hours every week, sharing life with one another, uh, that I was all about growth and inspiring other people. And they understood that the opportunity I have within the business to do that, and the different things that I brought to the table as other people's businesses, challenges. And it was kind of encouraging to, like, Larry, you just are so powerful in that you can make a choice and you can have it all. You can still have the passions and do the things that you see outside of your business, but you can still have it all to be able to inspire and empower other people for their business career to be creative, to know that they can enjoy and move powerful through business opportunity or through their job, through encouragement and modeling that. And that was some of the feedback I got about who I was and who I'd been being, and that I could still be all those things and be who I was being and still do the business and have it all and do it empoweringly and effective with excellence.
So they were.
And
So it sounds like they were saying you can. It's an attitude thing. Like you can shift how you look at it, how you experience the business. You don't have to drop the business, but because you can essentially have it all. You can continue to execute this business, inspire people through the business, but then also, play in your passion on the other areas. So is that sort of the gist of it?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, what I heard from it all when I was digesting it and choosing the direction that I would go was that my life experience could only be more empowering to others at this stage of my life to go ahead and create something with significance in the business world and in the finance world, to do that not for the sake of paying a mortgage, but for the sake of showing other people how to do it and how it can be done and how you can move through these things and still have all your other relationships and all your other passions. And it became more of me empowering others to excellence in all areas, and that I didn't have to walk away from something just because for a season that I wasn't passionate about it, and that I had some other things that raised up to the top for a season. And it doesn't mean that I have to walk away from something just because it wasn't at the top of my passion list.
So they helped
and I
you
still have it all.
Yeah. Okay. So they helped you really develop a bigger why for the business, because it sounds like like the reasons why you were executing the business, when your passion started to go to go get higher in other areas, your why wasn't big enough for the business. So they helped recontextualize why you're in the business in the first place, and part of that was to create something that inspires other people, and that helped to sort of kick you back into gear a little bit, or reignite the passion, relight the flame.
That is absolutely right, Matthew. Just a couple of minutes before we sat down to start the podcast, I just made a couple of notes. I didn't do a lot of preparation, but why was written down twice in my notes, and I have 4 short sentences of notes, and why was twice of those 4. And I really focus, just like we always say, you have to have a bigger why for your health and fitness than just your health and fitness, as far as making healthy choices and habits around what you eat and the exercise and the things you do. If you don't have a bigger why, there's a lot of starts and stops. And I hadn't stayed focused on my whys. I'd gotten off focus of what my whys were when I started. And of course, some of my whys shift as things shift. And I had written down here the things that we've talked a lot about: the modeling and empowering, influencing, and inspiring were my biggest whys. And then the other why was having it all to be able to do the other whys. So that I can show that it's possible to do it. It's not even possible. It's not that it's just possible. It's very doable for just anyone that thinks they're average and doesn't see themselves there, to be able to see that you can do it. It's just a matter of creating habits that are healthy and seeing that creates your character to your destiny. And I see my destiny as having it all and being able to inspire and empower others to see that they can have that and be their greatest.
Hmm. That's huge, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, that segues nicely into the third part and the final part of this conversation. I want to know about the actions that you've taken since receiving that feedback on your Epic Challenge and really being able to wrap your mind around what it is. And so, what have you done to help shift it, to help shift your experience?
So I've taken several actions. I had some massive growth last year, and the first half of this year has been so-so, as we've talked about, as far as my passion waning and whatnot. And so I've taken some actions, and I do some presentations from time to time, and I completely rewrote from the ground up and changed my approach to my presentations, and then invited people from COI and from BNI, Business and International Networkers, to come and see the rewrite and to give me healthy feedback on what they experienced during the presentations. And then I rewrote a lot of my scripts that I provide to my team members, and I'm using those, and they're inspiring me as I see how people respond to them. Because I teach people as they come into the business or use the products that they are a result of the process. And so many times it's believing in the process.
That's
And
so
so
true for so many things. Sorry to interrupt, but that was,
no,
yeah,
it's quite
that's
all right.
believing in the process,
So I'm
man. Yeah. Continue.
So I'm re-believing in my own process
Oh, wow.
and reigniting that passion by adjusting the process to be, in my eyes, higher excellence and higher moving me forward to empower myself, therefore empowering others and tweaking things versus I'd let things just be the same way for, 12 months. And I see that for me to have it all and to be inspiring, that I need to reignite myself and not just, it's kind of like a vision statement or a mission statement, Matthew. If you write it and put it in the drawer and don't go back and revisit it and see that the choices you make each day and the habits you create, if they're moving you towards that vision and mission, great. If they're not, either your vision statement, mission statement is not really true to where you're going. Well, it's not true to where you're going because you're not going towards it, or you need to rewrite it, or you need to change what you're doing so that you're moving towards that vision. And so I hadn't been doing that in my business, and I'd been doing it in other areas of my life, and they had been powerful. And my energy had been draining in the business because I hadn't been applying those same principles to the business. And so I made those decisions, and I've had some very empowering results that are very encouraging, that I can go back to my team and say, guys, this is what I'm doing, and here's the results. And it's not something about Larry, it's about the process of living the dream and having it all.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, so have you done anything specific around the bigger why? Because that was one of the things that you were able to identify during the feedback, was that you lacked a bigger why for your business. And so have you written a bigger why? Have you, pasted it on your desk? Have you done have you taken any specific action around that?
Well, I put my affirmations, my whys, and my mission statements are taped on the mirror in my bedroom. And I pass by that, and I make the time and effort almost every morning before I leave my bedroom to start my day to go over some of those. And the biggest why for me, for most things that I do, and if it doesn't align with the why, and we talked about it, and it's my why of modeling my life and my life experiences in front of others. It's not about just telling people, it's about them seeing, not showing, but them seeing me live my life that will empower them, influence them, and inspire them. Sure, I can get them excited with conversations of what's going on and this, that, and the other. However, if they see what I'm doing, and then they understand that they can take the same actions and release the results and not focus on what happens, but trust the process, and the things will happen that are empowering and influencing and inspiring to others in their life. Because I know that most people want those type of things. They want to inspire people and empower people and influence them.
Yeah.
They just don't always believe in themselves to do that. And I want to show that. So that is my biggest why. And I hadn't focused on that in a while in the business. And when I work out and when I make healthy choices, I want people of all ages, especially people that are my age, to see that just because they're are plus 60 doesn't mean they can't run a 10K or run 4 miles every day with a group of friends, every weekend, and work out and do their squat holds and different things, that they can do those things. Even if they wait till they're like I was in my 60s and hadn't run a mile in 44 years. But you can choose to change those habits and choose to experience life differently. And that was my why for doing the things to change my physical relationship to life, as I'd already had whys about my spiritual life and things like that. And it's like, I want balance in my life. And so to have that, I needed that, or was playing for that in my business, my physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, and even social, because we all have heard we become like the 5 or 6 people that we hang around the most.
Yeah.
And we have a choice of who we want to become by choosing the people that we live our life with. So that was just an area that I'd gotten a little slack in and started questioning what was going on, and was it excellence? And when I was reminded that who I am and who I'm being, that I didn't have to lay that down. I could pick that up and change my experience to it. And so it's been exciting the last couple of weeks, just what I've seen in the change in the business and in the expansion. I chose to decide to have massive expansion in my business again, and it's exciting to see what's going on.
And what sort of shift have you experienced in your body or in your health? I mean, when you were going through your epic challenge, you talked about your energy levels being low. Have those bounced back? Has anything else shifted?
Yeah, my general attitude now when I do something business oriented, instead of wanting to sit down and relax and quote unquote meditate, kind of close my eyes and try to escape from, oh, that wasn't as powering as it could be, because I know I didn't have my whole heart into it. And now when I finish, it's like, for the day, it's like, well, I wish I was, I kind of wish there was more to do. And then it's like, wow, I got so many other opportunities in other areas of my life to inspire myself, to empower myself, to influence myself or others, or the people that I live with or that I come in contact with outside of the business world. So it's exciting to be able to do that and to encourage people outside of business as well. And, I've seen the change in some of the people that thank me for calling them and encourage them in their business as well, that they had struggled. And then I shared some of my struggles and what had happened with some of the choices that I made and how it inspired me with excitement. So my energy level has transferred versus slowing me down in some areas. It continues to help grow my energy level when it comes to my health and my fitness and my spiritual walk, my social. It's kind of like the energized bunny. Because I had that drain, and now I don't have a drain on it. So it's like just one area of my life supports the other area of my life. Health supports life. And so with that healing of that area, it's like all the areas of my life got supported and grew and had more energy for a healthy relationship to my life. So it's very powerful for me to see that shift and not realizing that I had an energy leak in my life that was affecting other areas for his energy.
Yeah.
To spend doing some other things. And now, like in other areas where I'd be energized after running 4 miles or working out or spending time with vision giving and seeing the lives that we help change there, that now that energy from there, I'm also getting energy from the business by seeing the change that I'm bringing, empowering others in that area. And I'm able just to multiply that to the next area and to the next area. It's just a building block now versus draining on the other areas of passion in my life.
Yeah, there are so many powerful, encouraging, inspiring things that that you do, Larry, that I heard over the course of this conversation. For example, you just talked about showing appreciation for the things in your life and gratitude, and I mean we could do an entire podcast conversation all about that. But I do want to recognize you for experiencing your epic challenge, seeking feedback, receiving the feedback, and getting into action. Because I think that a lot of us can, it's easy to talk to people about what we're feeling and get feedback from people and get people's advice, solicit advice, but then getting into action can be the most challenging part. And I know for me, getting into action typically means facing some sort of fear or getting into something that might be uncomfortable, but I know that it's powerful and healing for me. So I just want to really commend you for trusting the process. And, you've said that in other areas of your life, you've trusted the process and you've sought out coaching, for example, in your health. And I'm a testament to what I've seen from you. I mean, I'm with you on the Saturday runs. I was there when you ran your first 4 miles, and now I'm there as you are leading the group. And so you've trusted the process in those other areas. And what I'm hearing is that you are trusting the process in the area of your epic challenge. And so that's powerful, man. And I want to thank you for coming on and just sharing your challenge and sharing your experience and being transparent, because I do think there's a lot that those listening can take from hearing your challenge, how you've processed it, the feedback, and what you've done with it.
Awesome. Thank you. There was one thing that I'd like to share from a conversation that I had with Day, a great friend of yours and mine, just the other day.
Yeah.
We were talking about knowledge and having knowledge. So I had knowledge of these things. And then through the Epic Challenge, I had some understanding of the Epic Challenge and what actions to take. So we have knowledge, and knowledge doesn't do a whole lot for us till we gain understanding. And then what you said is the wisdom of all of it is taking action, because you have knowledge and understanding, but until you take action, that is when knowledge, understanding becomes wisdom. It's taking that and putting into action. And it was very energizing to have this conversation, and that just popped up to my mind when you said action as you were closing out our conversation, of taking that. And where that leads us to is wisdom for our life and how we apply it.
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for really hammering that point home in a powerful way about taking action. Because you can have a lot of knowledge and a lot of understanding, but especially because you are seeking to influence people, and we all influence people every day in our lives, but you're seeking to influence people in powerful, healing ways, and so they can see what it's like to take action. They can experience the results of taking action through you, and for you listening, once you're able to identify that epic challenge and, get that feedback, get that greater understanding around that epic challenge, the shift does happen simply by receiving feedback and gaining new levels of understanding. Shift definitely happens, but that transformation of the challenge, turning that energy from something that's depleting and just dampening into something that truly lights you up and you feel encouraged and inspired by, that process happens when you get into action. So thank you so much, Larry, for just capping off our conversation with that final little story. And man, Larry, I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today.
Thank you. I love you too, brother.
2 quick things before you leave. First, did you know that the Having It All podcast is a part of the Fireside Network? Yep, we are one of the esteemed shows that calls Fireside Network home. That means if you ever want to listen to a show outside of iTunes or Stitcher or whatever your favorite podcasting app is, all you need to do is visit firesidenetwork.com and under shows, select Having It All. From there, you can access all the episodes, see the show notes, learn about my guests, and more. Second, I am very excited to announce that my brand new website is live. Visit MatthewBivens.com and you can learn more about me, get plugged into an accountability group, and pick up some free content like the Abundance Benchmark. I am all about helping you not only identify what your ideal life looks like, but also helping you on your journey towards it. I want you to experience more abundance and love in your life. So, again, you can find out more information about all of that great stuff at MatthewBivens.com. Thank you once more for listening to the show, and here is to you having it all.